All right, so now that we know how to find slope, how we know how to find the y-intercept, how we know how to find the x-intercepts, we're going to do the opposite of what we've been doing. Our goal is I understand how to write a linear equation when given its graph. Now we're going to primarily focus on slope-intercept form because that is the most common type of form when writing linear equations. But we could do it any of these other ways. So remember, a linear equation is an equation that represents a straight line on a graph. Slope measures the steepness and direction of a line. Your x-intercept is the coordinate where the graph crosses the x-axis. Your y-intercept, the coordinate where the graph crosses the y-axis. Okay, so here are our goals, your steps. First, you want to identify the y-intercept, which is your b. Then you want to identify the slope, which is your m. And once again, with the slope, remember that this is rise. Get there eventually. Remember, this is rise over run. Okay, then we're going to write them in the slope-intercept form. So whenever we find the y-intercept, we'll plug it in right here. And when we find the slope, we'll plug it in right here. And we'll always use the y and the x. All right, so let's take a look at these examples. So first off, where is the y-intercept? Well, I can clearly see that I'm crossing the spot right there. Okay, so I know that my b is a positive 1. Okay, now to find the slope, we're going to have to figure out another intersection on our graph. So if I look along this red line, am I crossing an intersection right here? Doesn't look like it. But it looks like I'm crossing an intersection right there where those lines cross each other. So what's the rise from here to here? So I'm going to go up 1, and I'm going to go right 1, 2. So I went up 1 over 2, which means my slope is a 1/2. Okay, so we're just going to write it as y equals 1/2 x plus 1, because my y-intercept was a positive 1. Okay, all right, let's take a look at another one. Okay, where is my y-intercept? Looks like I'm crossing right here at 3. So I'm going to put my b equals 3. And then where do I cross another intersection as I go along this red line? It looks like I cross right here. So to find the slope, let's do our rise over run. In this case, my rise is actually a fall. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. So I have a -3 for my rise and 1, 2 for my run. So we have -3/2 for my slope. So y equals -3/2 x plus 3. And there is the equation to that given line. Okay? Just finding those two things. All right, where is the y-intercept? Okay, looks like we're crossing the y-axis right here. So my y-intercept is -2. Okay, can I find where we cross another intersection? Looks like right here. Okay, so how do I get from the left point to the right point? We're going to go down 1, 2, 3. So we dropped 3. And we went right 1. So my slope is -3 over 1, which can be written as -3. So my slope is -3x minus 2. And there is my equation for that particular line. Okay, let's go ahead to this one right here. All right. Actually, let's come back to this one. Okay, where's my y-intercept? My y-intercept is at -1. And my slope, it looks like I'm going up 1, right 1. So I had a b of -1 and a slope of 1. So when I write this in my equation, I'm going to say y equals 1x. But remember, we don't have to write down the 1. So I'm actually just going to say y equals x, and then minus 1 for my y-intercept. And that would be my equation. If you want to put the 1 right here, you can, but you typically will not see it if it's written right there, if there's a 1 in front of the x. Okay, now let's take a look at this. Okay, where is my y-intercept? Well, it's clearly crossing right here at -3. Well, where do I cross another place? Well, I cross right here. What is my rise? It looks like my rise is going to be 0 because I don't go up or anything. And my run is a 1. So it's 0 over 1. And 0 divided by 1 is just 0. So I'm going to say y equals. Now I can write 0x minus 3. However, 0 times x is just 0. We don't have to write that down. So the way you're going to see this written down is y equals -3. Because we just know the y-intercept. Well, we do know the slope, but it's just 0. So we don't have to write down 0x. What about this one? Where is the y-intercept? Am I ever crossing this line right here? I'm not. So my y-intercept, we could say, NA. It doesn't exist. Okay. Well, what's the slope? Well, let's just pick 2 lines. It intercepts here and here. The rise is 1, but the rise is 1, but the run is 0. And can I have 1 divided by 0? I can't have that. So we don't have well, the slope is undefined, and we don't have a y-intercept. Whenever this happens, we're just going to write this. We're going to say x equals wherever we cross the x-axis. So in this case, we crossed it at 4. So my equation is x equals 4. Because I don't know, I don't have a y-intercept. The slope is undefined. Whenever you get a combination of that, you're just going to write x equals 4. That's just telling you there's a vertical line right here when we cross the 4 of the x-axis. Okay? So go ahead and take a look at your assignment and let me know if you have any questions.